Here we have a nice grove of trees planted together, and one of the things that I noticed right away from a distance is it has this classic shape where the upper branches are pointing upwards and the middle branches are pointing across, and the lower branches would normally be pointing down, but they've been trimmed up to give this canopy a bit more street clearance, because we're on a street here. So we can look at the bark a bit closer too. So this starting to get into its mature bark here, where it's quite craggy. And then as we look up, we're getting into less mature bark, which has kind of a flecked appearance, a little bit smoother, and some white coloration. And if we want to look on the ground for some evidence of things, we can find some leaves here. So if you know anything about trees, you probably instantly recognize this as an oak leaf shape, which you're correct, it is an oak. So how can I tell this oak from other oaks? Well, we might be able to find some of the nuts on the ground, last year's acorns. Here's the acorn cap. Here's part of an acorn. Most of the acorns, I think, would be eaten by squirrels, so you might not have much luck finding an acorn intact. But like I said, you might find some of the tops. And oh, here's part of one. It's actually most of one. That's not too bad. So you can see they're kind of a squat, sort of squished looking acorn compared to a longer, thinner acorn you might see on other oaks. The leaves are very helpful on this species because they come to these long, thin points, and they're very what's called dissected, so they're cut in deeply. So it's got really deeply cut lobes. And the lobes themselves, so this part is longer than the part that is uncut, So the amount that's cut is much larger than the amount that's not. So that's one way you can tell this particular species. So this is what you would call a pin oak, or Quercus palustris. Quite a beautiful common tree in the city.